Tasmania, it should be noted, is a bit of an outlier in terms of the Australian short stay accommodation market. And the reason for that is that in Tasmania, all owners of short stay accommodation do require a permit if the entire property is being used as short stay accommodation. So with that data, which we were able to access from the Hobart City Council, we were then able to work out how many permits have been issued, how much the property portfolios are worth, and whether or not the people that are buying the properties are locals, people from the mainland, or people from overseas.
What did you find in terms of the wealth of these short stay property owners? Who are they and where they're from?
Well, we know, for example, that short stay accommodation providers make out that many providers are utilising rooms in their principal place of residence and that it's an economic lifeline for them. But the data that we've been able to obtain shows that most short stay accommodation properties within the Hobart City Council municipality were bought in the last 6 or 7 years with the rise of short stay accommodation across Australia, and that they are being used primarily as short stay accommodation. They're not sharing rooms, they're entire properties. And the real concern for the Tenants Union is that many of these properties used to be in the long-term rental market. So the loss of long-term rental stock, the conversion to short stay accommodation, is driving rents up and resulting in incredibly low vacancy rates.
What would you like to see follow from this data?
Well, we need all levels of government, be that local, state and federal, to do more to better regulate short stay accommodation. Hobart City Council very recently raised the rates on entire property short stay accommodation hosts. At a state level, we need to see a cap on the number of nights made available, and we also need short stay to be returned to what it originally was, which is the sharing of rooms in hosts' principal places of residence, but not allowing the buying up of entire properties and the conversion to short stay. And finally, it's really important at a federal level that we see the federal government put in place measures by reviewing the tax system so that people are unable to see property as a wealth generating vehicle, and that ultimately we see housing as just that, a home, a shelter for someone.
Okay, and Ben, I've just got to ask, the Short Stay Accommodation Act of 2019, for the government to get insights, are they getting these same insights and are they doing anything with it?
Well, what the state government did, as I said earlier, was they did put in place a system which meant that in Tasmania, if you're using an entire property as short stay accommodation, you do require a permit. And the idea behind that was to provide the government with analysis so that they could better regulate the short stay accommodation sector. The problem is that we're now 4 years down the track. There's no analysis that we know of that the state government has engaged in. The only analysis that's been done has been done by independent researchers such as Shelter Tasmania and the Australian Housing and Urban Research Centre. So we really need the state government to be recognising that short stay accommodation, particularly the buying up of entire properties, has had an impact on long-term rental properties and on the long-term rental market, and put in place measures to ensure that we can increase supply to see vacancy rates rise and rents go down.
Ben Bartle from the Tenants Union of Tasmania, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.